Story of Two Ants and the Sugar Jar. In a bustling kitchen of a small cottage, two curious ants named Biju and Gitu lived behind a crack in the wall. The kitchen was their treasure trove, filled with crumbs, grains, and the sweet aroma of sugar and honey. One day, while exploring the kitchen counter, Biju and Gitu spotted a glass jar filled with sugar cubes. The jar's lid was slightly open, and a heavenly scent wafted out. "Look, Gitu! It's a sugar mountain!" Biju exclaimed. Gitu hesitated. "But the jar looks deep, Biju. What if we can't climb back out?" Biju, brimming with excitement, said, "Come on! It'll be fine. Think of all the sugar we can carry back home." As they approached the jar, their friendly rivalry started to show. Biju was always the daring one, excited about venturing deeper and collecting more sugar, while Gitu was cautious and suggested turning back every now and then. "I'm telling you, Biju, this might be too risky," Gitu said, looking nervously at the tall jar. But Biju, full of energy, said, "We'll be fine, Gitu. Just think about all the sugar we can carry back." With cautious steps, the two ants climbed into the jar. At first, it was easy. They collected small sugar crystals and filled their tiny bags. But as they ventured deeper, the walls became slippery, and the sugar crystals started shifting under their feet. Suddenly, the jar wobbled, and both ants tumbled deeper into the sugar. They were stuck. The smooth glass walls offered no grip, and the sugar crystals were too loose to climb. "Oh no! We're trapped!" Gitu cried, panic setting in. Biju took a deep breath. "Don't worry, Gitu. Panicking won't help us. Let's think." The two ants sat for a moment, thinking hard. Then Biju had an idea. "If we build steps using the sugar crystals, we can climb out." Meanwhile, a spider named Kalu noticed their struggle from above. "You ants are always getting into trouble," Kalu said, shaking his head. "If you make it out, remember to be more careful next time." As Biju and Gitu stacked sugar crystals against the wall of the jar, Gitu started to doubt their chances of success. "What if we don't have enough sugar to build the steps?" Gitu asked, his anxiety creeping back. Biju grinned and said, "I told you we'd figure it out. We just need to work together." Their teamwork was slow and exhausting, but they kept going. Just then, a kitchen mouse named Luna, who had been watching from outside the jar, called down to them. "Do you need help, little friends?" Luna asked kindly. Biju and Gitu explained their plan, but Gitu added, "I don't think we'll make it out on our own, Luna." Luna, who had often been underestimated because of her size and species, smiled. "I'll tilt the jar slightly for you. Be ready to climb." Biju and Gitu looked at her, unsure of what to expect. But when Luna tilted the jar just enough, the sugar crystals shifted in a way that created a perfect path for them to climb. "Wow, Luna! You're amazing!" Biju said, his eyes wide with surprise. Luna smiled softly. "I may be small, but I know how to help when it matters." With great effort, Biju and Gitu climbed their makeshift stairs, helped by Luna's clever tilt, and finally made it out of the jar. They were exhausted but relieved. Meanwhile, Kalu, the spider, watched from above with a knowing gaze. Though he never directly helped, he admired the ants' clever teamwork and determination. He had considered offering his silk thread to help anchor their steps, but had decided it was better for them to find their own way. "Maybe these ants aren't so bad after all," he mused. Back in their wall crack, Biju and Gitu shared their adventure with the other ants. They learned that with teamwork, clever thinking, and an open mind to unexpected help, even the most impossible problems could be solved. And as Biju and Giju reflected on their journey, they realized that their rivalry had made them stronger as a team. Giju's careful nature balanced Biju's boldness, and Biju's daring ideas pushed Giju to think outside the box. However, little did they know, their actions had consequences in the world beyond the jar. The human kitchen owner had been watching from afar, cleaning up the trail of sugar crystals that Biju and Giju had left behind when the jar was knocked over by Muna. The owner had placed the jar back in its original position but had carefully sealed it this time, making it impossible for the ants to enter again. Though Biju and Giju had learned a valuable lesson, they had unknowingly disrupted the owner's space, teaching them the importance of respecting boundaries. Moral: teamwork can solve even the biggest problems, and everyone, no matter their size or personality, has something special to contribute. It's also important to understand the impact our actions can have on the world around us.